in
This
Bangalore.
conference will now be recorded.
Okay. So we were talking about this change management, control management, and all that, right? So we have discussed about these three things, how to do the change, these three steps. But what are the things you need to remember while doing any of the changes are any of the change which is reducing your security, you are not recommended to do those changes, but still if you are doing it, nobody is stopping you. It's your organization, it's your process, do whatever you want. It is about ideal and best practices. Second thing is, if it is not approved by CAB, Change Advisory Board or Change Review Board, you are not allowed to do those as well. Getting my point? So these two things you always remember. Got it? Asset management is all about whatever the assets you are having in your organization. Tell me, what is the biggest asset for an organization?
Employee.
Correct. That is an employee, or you can say human. Right? We have done a question as well, if you remember, right? The question was in a different aspect. That was, what is the weakest element in the security solution for an organization, which is human. You can compromise the human beings quite easily, right? So asset management, it basically all broadly defines all the identification, maintenance of all your risk protections, hardware of information assets for your organization, right? It can be tangible or it can be non-tangible as well, right? You can count something and you cannot count something, right? The same we have discussed in the risk management, if I remind you, right? The
Quantitative and qualitative.
qualitative and quantitative, that is true, right? So some things you cannot count, some things you can count. So the same things are there with the assets, right? You cannot count and all that. And this is the asset life cycle. What are the points are there? So first of all, the procurements of the assets. You will deploy and discover the assets, maintain your assets, support retirement or disposal of your assets. What is important is the fifth point, where it is very important. Which data, which asset needs to be disposable, needs to be removed from your database, and how it should be removed from your database, right? You know, we have zip format and archive.org things are there.
Yes.
Yes.
So actually what happens is retirement and disposal is in the sense we used to keep the files in the RAR files, zip files. Do you know the method behind it or the idea behind that?
It reduces the size, and whenever you want, we can extract them back.
I'm sorry, could you please a bit louder? Your voice is a bit low actually.
Yeah, one is that it reduces the space, and we can extract it back when needed.
But that you can keep it in a simple way as well in the file as it is. Why you are, I mean, converting in a zip file only or a RAR file? What is the need of converting that file? It basically comes under this process fifth, retirement and disposal. The reason is when you want to keep your file for a longer period of time, then convert your files into the RAR file. Now, even if you don't want to keep for a longer time and converting it in RAR, nobody is stopping you. But there is always a process. The process is if you want to keep your file for a longer period of time, you must convert them in a RAR file. Or another language is when the file is no longer usable for you, and the file is you are touching that file once in a while, once in a year, twice in a year only, convert that into the RAR file. Got it?
Yes.
Data states. We have discussed it in the first chapter as well, right? It is called as data in use. It is called as data at rest. It is called as data in transit. Remember these acronyms as well. It might come in your examination, and it is quite simple. Data at rest. Okay, so I have explained you already. You want to tell me, I mean, what it is, what is DAR?
Any data or file which is present in our database.
Any of the data which is stored in the hard disk. Sitting silently, you have some songs, some documents which you have placed in your hard disk. You are not touching them. That is data at rest. Anywhere. It's not even hard disk. Any of the destination your data is there, if it is placed, that is data at rest. Data in transit is when you are transmitting your data over the internet, you are uploading a file over a wire network or a wireless network, that is data in motion. Getting my point? Transit or motion are same. The first is data in use or data in process. So the same example I will take, you will better understand it. Right now I'm explaining you this and writing down in the presentations, right? Creating some diagrams or writing down with the pens and using the next backs slide.
Yes.
I am using this data that is in use. Anything? Any questions?
No.
Okay. Information lifecycle management. What is information lifecycle management? Remember, it is ILM. Remember these acronyms. Practice of applying certain policies during the creation, maintenance, information. Now see, what you know, you are aware of information. Remember, I have explained you what is data, what is information. You know about information, you know about life cycle management, you know about the policies as well. What are policies?
A statement by or a directive that has to be followed.
Those are mandatory or not?
Mandatory
They are
statement.
mandatory. Mandatory statements are mandatory.
Correct, that is right. So remember all these phases. The first phase is create and discover your information. What information you have. Classify your information. Classify is what you have just asked me 10 minutes before. Classification of your
Data
data
type.
or information, top secret, secret, confidential, public, private, what it is. Okay. Remember one more thing I'm explaining you in classification of data. If you are a government organization, your topest classification is top secret. If you are a private organization or a business organization, your highest degree of classification of data is confidential only. Remember it. Only a government organization can use this top secret word. Private organization cannot use their data and they cannot show their data as a top secret.
Okay.
You want to know the reason behind that, or you are aware of that?
Not aware.
No, not aware.
Any of the governing body can ask a private organization to show their confidential data, and they have to show. But private
Okay.
organization can ask a government, can I have the top secret data? Because this data is related to
National importance.
national security. It is country data. That is only top secret data. Apart from the country data, nothing is top secret. Everything is confidential.
Okay.
Okay.
Getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Cryptography.
Correct. Cryptography, encryptions, all are. Retaining, hold, dispose your data. You want to retain it. If you want to retain it in the RAR format. If you want to hold it for your process, disposable of the data, right? Disposable, I will explain once, and monitor is quite simple, right? You are monitoring the data, right? You are keeping eyes on that particular data. Now, disposable of that data, you want to dispose the data. I'm erasing it. You want to make a note of anything, or can I erase it?
Yeah, you can erase it.
Just a second, please.
Yeah.
Yes.
Can I now?
Yes,
Yes.
you can.
When you are disposing your data, disposing the data actually means removing that data. You want to delete the data. So there are plenty of things. How you want to delete? The thing is, first is you can delete your data. You can erase your data. You can purge your data. You can destroy your data. You can use the method of degaussing. Plenty of methods are there. Declassification is also there. Deleting the data. Deleting the data is simply when you are actually pressing the delete button in your system. Right click or delete, or just directly pressing delete button, that is delete. That means data is recoverable from recycle bin. You can restore that again. Okay. Erasing of the data. Erasing of a data means you are trying to use a tool, software to erase that data. For your information, there is a tool available on internet which is free, which is known as Eraser. By Eraser, if you are using or deleting the data, it is no longer going into your recycle bins and nowhere. Very hard to recover. Purging is deleting the data multiple times. You will delete it from your drive, then you will delete it from your system, delete it from your recycle bin, delete it from the pointers, delete your hard disk, format your hard disk. Those methods, purging.
So that it doesn't exist anywhere, right?
Correct. Destroy is basically, breaking the hard disk by the hammer,
Yeah.
converting into the different pieces, throwing that into the sea. Okay, that is degaussing. Sorry, destroy. Declassification is basically following any two methods. This or this, this or this, this or this, any method. Combination. Okay. Degaussing is important. Very important. I mean, it's a process. It's an interesting process, by the way. What happens is in degaussing is basically a device. It's a hardware device which looks like a printer, normal printer, same like a printer. There are two buttons on the machine. One is the power button. Another button is of degauss button, degaussing. Okay. What you have to do is, if you want to delete your hard drive's data, you have to place your hard disk over here at the middle of this drive. Turn on the power, then turn on button. Press this button. After pressing the button, you have to rotate your hard disk. Rotate your hard disk 360-degree on this device. How you have to do is, like you are placing the hard disk for a 10 second, then you just lift it up and my friend, I would request you to please stay a little away from your mic. You know, your breathing noise is coming in the recording, right? So how you have to do is, so this hard disk is there, and first of all, you put your hard disk here and lift it up, then rotate it, place it again. Then again, lift it up, rotate it slightly, and then again place it back. This process you do for 360 degree. I mean, you have to rotate this hard disk. It will take maximum of 30 seconds of process. What has happened now is your hard drive's magnetic field, your hard disk magnetic field is removed. And my friends, just understand, if any of the hard disk magnetic field is removed, how you will keep safe your data? I mean, how you will place your data? Data is placed in the hard drives magnetically. There is a magnet into it, and if you have that magnetic field removed, no chance of keeping that data. Forget about keeping that data in that. The hard disk is not even usable. Your system will not even detect the hard disk. Are you getting my point?
Yes.
Yes.
What is this
Yes.
process called?
Degaussing.
Correct, degaussing. For your more information, for your better clarity, at the end of this session or whenever you are free, go to YouTube and watch some videos, right? There are some videos out there, how you do the degaussing. Okay, you'll get a better understanding and clarity of that. These all topics are theoretically, my friends. I am trying to explain you, I mean, in a better way as much as I can. Let me know if you are getting it or you are feeling bored. How it is.
We're getting it.
We are getting it.
Getting it. Good. Right. So this happens about the asset or information lifecycle management, right? So how you will manage your information lifecycle management? Managing that, how we will mark our data, right? Marking the data again means labeling. Labeling is again means top secret, secret, confidential. Label your data so that easily we can recognize which is secret, which is top secret. If the data is secret, how much security I need to apply? If the data is top secret, how much security I need to apply? So marking of the data is very important. Handling the data, how you will handle the data, how you will transport the data, how you will store the data, the proper handling of that particular data, right? Storing the data, storage location. You must protect your storage location, right? Where you are storing the data. It doesn't matter you are storing in the hard drives or a Google Drive over the internet or an isolated system, doesn't even matters, but it has to be secure. Destroying your data. Destroying the data, I just explained here entire process. These all are destroy methods. Correct? Endpoint device. Endpoint device, you must have heard in your office, organization, endpoint security is there, right? Which is connected to the internet. or a local area network, right? Which is at the end, or you can say which is at the first, which is preventing you from all the malware threats, viruses in the organization, right? This is
Yes.
endpoint device. So endpoint device is basically, end users. Simple explanation. It's end user. We have the ISP. After ISP, we have a firewall. Right after firewall, we have a router. Then we have a switch. Then after these are end users. These all are end users. Right. End users may be with the desktop, computers, user, laptop, tablet, printer, anything. It may be end device can be of anything. Quite simple. Right. How you will defend it? How you will protect your endpoint? I'm having my system. I may have the antivirus solution. I may have the firewall solution. I may have the IDS solution. What is IDS?
Intrusion
What is
detection.
IDS? Correct,
It
correct. You are
detects
telling
when
me right. Intrusion detection system. Intrusion detection system, that is IDS. There are two types of IDS, my friends. HIDS and NIDS. What is the difference?
is N for network and H for host or endpoints.
Correct. If you want to detect the things only on a specific computer systems, 1, 2, or 5 only, apply host-based IDS, system to system, device to device. NIDS, network IDS, which is for entire network, for hundreds of systems, for your entire organization, that is an IDS. Right? Simple. There is IPS as well, right? Intrusion prevention system.
Protection.
Prevention, basically, it's not protection. Intrusion prevention system. Prevention system, it will detect also and it will prevent also, right? Just to give you an idea. Okay, tell me, antivirus is IDS or IPS?
IPS.
IPS.
IPS,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Are you sure?
No, it is IDS.
Because it detects
It is detecting viruses also,
yes, it is detecting viruses also.
and it is preventing from
Preventing.
viruses as well,
Yes.
Yes.
correct? That is why I
Yeah.
have asked only for antivirus. Antivirus falls in all the categories. It is preventive as well, it is detective as well. In fact, it is corrective as well.
Yes.
If in case your file is corrupted by the antivirus, right? It will remove the virus and it will correct your files. Make sense or not?
Yes.
Yes.
So remember, if the question is coming about antivirus, which falls in which category, make sure you choose all of them. Okay. If I ask about firewall, is it IDS or IPS? Then
IPS.
how is firewall?
IPS, it just blocks or
IPS
prevents.
prevents.
Right. The major uh, working of firewall is prevention actually, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Good. Going ahead, endpoint devices, whatever policies you will apply of updating, software patching and all that, that is that. Security, education and awareness training. Security education and awareness training. Make sure your organization's employee will get all these trainings. Security education, awareness training, malware introduction. They must know about malwares. Okay, what is malware, by the way?
Um I mean, it is like a piece of code that is designed to hamper or interrupt or disrupt
Basically,
or
that's the exploit.
damage. Yeah, yeah. It is
See, my
basically
friends.
something. Yeah.
Go ahead, go ahead. It is basically something.
It's criminal software basically. It's a software that's a criminal that's
Okay.
malware.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then what is virus?
A virus is not a code. It's a mm,
And how you will differentiate the worm then? Confused?
yes.
Yeah. So actually, stop using these kind of definitions in a way like, virus is a piece of code or malware is a piece of code. It looks good in the semester examinations of engineering or FBC, MCA, right? When we don't know the answer and we used to start like this because we want to write down something, right?
Mm,
In practical environment, it doesn't works actually, right? In the real time environment. Simple definition of malware is anything which is affecting our confidentiality, integrity, and availability is a malware for us. Getting my point?
yes.
If our CIE is affected, that is gone. It's a malware for us. And all these categories, viruses, worms, trojans, spyware, adware, whatever, everything, it falls under malware itself. So malware is actually a parent node. Under that, virus, worms, trojans, and all that, everything is coming. Correct?
Yes.
Yes. By the way, since we have touched this topic, so I'm telling you quickly, viruses and worms, the difference in between these two. Virus will always replicate itself with human interaction. It replicates, but with the human interaction. You have to interact with the virus. You have to go to that particular file and folder. And if you are using that file folder, it would be replicating itself. Then it is worm. Worm is even more dangerous. Worm will not even allow you to interact with himself. Self-replicating. Doesn't even matter whether you are using that file folder or not using, it will still replicate itself. Got it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. That is the difference in between virus and worm. And then social media platforms, you must be aware, password exposure, you should not do the password expose. You should not expose your data. Make sure you inform about all of your lost devices. Make sure if you have taken any of the access by mistakenly or someone has taken your device access by mistakenly, you should inform your security administrator, data administrator, office administrator, right? The interesting thing is here at point number 3, password exposure. People are using all the password, right? All the passwords across the globe, they are using it. Very common password, right? Please do not use those passwords. Your company name at the rate 123, your first name at the rate 123, your last name at the rate 123, your date of birth at the rate 123, P a dollar W0 RD or something like that related to it. Please do not use it. Apple at the rate 123, love at the rate 123, Sam, John, please do not use. These are the passwords which everyone will try in a first attempt, right? And avoid, I would strongly suggest, avoid using the special character at the rate. 99.99% people will use a special symbol as at the rate only, which is already guessed. Forget about this letter now. Move to something else. Forget if password is saying you must type your numeric letters as well. Forget about typing 1, 2, 3 now. Forget about it. Move to any other number, any random number. It will help you. Okay?
Yes.
Yes. So we did a social engineering as well in our office couple of years back. What we have done is, so we have written down all the employees' names on a paper, right? And so we have created a paper like that. So there was a column like this, so the paper wise, due to our security reasons, we are updating your passwords. So please write down your name here, your employee ID here, okay, your current password and your new password. Please write down here. We will be changing your all the passwords. Trust me, 80% of the company employees have written their name, their ID, what is their current password, what the new password which they want to set, they have written down. So this is social engineering, right? Please try to, educate yourself in that, right? Don't be a victim. Got it?
Yes.
Fine. So employee security training, this is again same. You should learn about it, training programs, delivery methods. Quite simple. See, I mean, what I'll explain here, it's classroom training, online training, role-playing, scenario-based activities, computer-based trainings, quite simple out there, right? What training frequency your organization should follow? At least annual. This is the best practice. Your organization must train you at least annually. That is recommendation. Every organization has different tasks. And by the way, my friend, it is not about just in the process. They must, it is must. If your organization is following ISO 27001, they must train their organization at least once in a year. If they are not, their auditor will ask the questions and they have to give the valid reasons for why you are not giving training to your employees. Okay, it happens. BCP, my friends, please tell me if you have any confusion. We have discussed it.
Business
Business
continuity plan.
continuity plan, right? I told you business should run. Doesn't matter how you are dealing with that. Terminating the employees, hiring new candidates, giving them hike or demoting themselves. Do whatever you want, your business should run. Doesn't matter whether it's COVID-19 or any other disaster. Your business should run. What is the priority for that? People are the first priority. Then IT recoveries and all that. Remember one thing here, the word PPT. What is PPT? PowerPoint presentation, right?
No. Hmm.
Why are you are, I mean, sounding like this? PPT is PowerPoint presentation only, right? Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes.
you are. PPT is not
What
PowerPoint
happened?
presentation.
It is not PowerPoint presentation.
Uh,
It is people,
people.
process, and technology.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, remember it. So this is basically the priority you should remember in your organization. The first priority in your organization is the people. Second priority is the process. Third priority in your organization is the technology. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
How BCP is deployed. So business continuity plan, I have explained you. Business impact assessment analysis, BIA, I have explained you. You remember or not? Business impact assessment, two things. Clearly, I have explained you what to be recovered and how soon it to
How?
be recovered, right?
Yes.
Two things we have discussed. BIA is the heart of your BCP. You can write down this line. BIA is the heart of BCP. Okay. Okay, what is the ISO standard for BCP? I told you on that day as well. What is the ISO standard for BCP? Remember, my friends, please remember it is 22301.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Like for information security is 27001, right?
Yes.
ISMS, InfoSec. So for BCP, 22301, right? So BIA, simple, yeah, now these, which is important. MTD, maximum tolerable downtime, right? Maximum, first of all, my friends, please take a photo of this slide, right? Quickly. By the way, this session is already in recording mode, but I want this photo in your mobile phone. It would be easier for you, helpful always, right?
Yeah.
What happens is, and just focus on these full forms, maximum tolerable downtime. How much a system can tolerate if in case of failure? Getting my point? I'm repeating again, how much a system can tolerate during the failure time. Like a UPS, take an example of UPS. In case of power failure, how much time it can survive? 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, how much time? The maximum tolerable downtime for a UPS is 30 minutes, for an example. That is maximum tolerable downtime. Recovery time objective. Recovery time objective is at the time of failure, how much time you need to recover? How much time we need to recover the things properly. That time duration is called as RTO. My friends, these terms are for your lifelong. Trust me. Till the day you are there in IT, these terms will chase you everywhere. Remember it. Extremely important. Okay. Recovery point objective. When you are recovering it, at which point your data is recovered. So let's say this is your system which is working fine. Then your system is down for a while. This is the downtime. After that, it is recovered and again working properly. So what is it? Just understand this. This duration is recovery time objective, RTO. How much time it has taken? 30 minutes. RPO, recovery point objective. This point is RPO. This point, everything is recovered. Any confusion now?
No.
Nothing. Risk assessment we have done, qualitative and quantitative. Any confusion?
No.
Questions also we have discussed. Formulas also we have discussed. And I have explained you this as well. What is that?
Anonymous feedback.
Very good. Anonymous feedback. That is Delphi technique. So similarly, we have disaster recovery plan similar to the incidents, risk and all that. So disasters are bigger in impact, bigger than incidents, right? Level 1
Yes.
disaster, that is in the local nature, small part of the operations. That means level 1 is means you can say the small disaster, which takes 2 to 3 days of recovery time. Level 2 disaster is a bigger disaster, even more. It might take up to a week or more as well. Level 3 disaster, these are levels only, L1 and 2, L3. It might be a month. As an example, natural disaster. It's a natural disaster. It might take a few months to recover your organization completely to settle down again. Okay. That is level 3 disaster. Quite simple. By the way, disasters are again into the two parts, right? Let me give you the clarity of that as well. First is man-made disaster. And second is natural disaster. So natural disaster, you all are aware, earthquake, flood, storm, hurricanes, and all that, right? Those all are natural disasters. Man-made disasters, can you give any example?
Basically, you oppose the security policies of the company for your own gain, data theft, or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, they can be
War.
considered, right? Nobody.
War.
War, absolutely right. Perfect example. War is a natural disaster. I mean, the man-made disaster. There is an example we can take in the current two countries are fighting, right? It has just ended a few days back. They were fighting just,
Yes,
I think, 2 months, right? That is a man-made disaster. Fire is a man-made disaster. Agree or not? And
yes,
fire is a natural disaster. It is in the both, right? And what else? Hacking, my friends. Hacking is what?
Man-made.
Man-made disaster. So you are getting the clarity, right? How
Yes.
the things are there and how you have to understand and how you have to understand the perspective of thinking your uh, mindsets and all that, right? Disaster recovery strategy, make sure all the assessment you should do, damage and determine what needs to be replaced, place order of replacement good services, always, receiving, reinstalling and configuring your replacements, loading your testing sites, configuration IT. These are normal, then how you will recover it, right? Testing. Testing is a method of identifying the weaknesses. I want to identify weaknesses, vulnerabilities, then I will test my system, test my network, test my infra, test my cloud. Every single thing would be there in the testing, right? So like VAPT is the best example of a testing. What is VAPT? Which is vulnerability assessment penetration testing, right? You have done your CEH and you must be aware of that, right?
Yes.
There are two types of testing, by the way, right? Static testing and dynamic testing. Static testing and dynamic testing. Static testing is a normal testing when you are playing with any of the code or any of the softwares and all that, right? Static. Dynamic testing is when you are changing the behavior of that application. As an example, there is one ID section, one password section where you have to log in. ID says, please write on your ID. You have written your ID as APC. In the password section, it is saying you, please make sure your password at least 816 characters long. But intentionally, you are writing down the password of 20 characters. Intentionally. That is dynamic testing because you want to check the behavior of it. If I'm entering the 20 letters characters in that, how it will react.